Hi guys, and welcome back to OG Cars, and in today's video you join us with Mr. P, although he's not actually the centre of attention in this video. He is coming back soon, but there's a car that I bought almost 3 whole years ago. I haven't really done anything with it apart from maybe ruin it. Let's have a little look at it and explain the story. It's another classic Fiat Panda 4x4. Before we go into the mega story, let's just talk about what model this is. This is a early to mid 90s Fiat Panda 4x4. It's a left-hand drive, so it's an Italian import, this particular one. I actually bought it in Italy and the person drove it over for me, but we'll go through that story. It's a 1.1 single point injection, so it's still the 5 Series engine, which we know and love, but basically we didn't get this model over here because when it changed over from carb to injection, we actually dropped the 4x4 model in about 1992-1993 in the UK. So we didn't actually get this particular version, which certainly interested me, which is one of the reasons why I bought it. So the story, the story is fairly long, so I'll try and condense it a little bit, but basically we went to Italy to buy an Alphacid, and then this came up for sale. And we agreed to buy it, but unfortunately we weren't quite going the right way to pick it up on the way back. So Steve Locke, the person that sold it to us, big thanks for selling it to us, absolute legend, because basically he then agreed to just drive it to the UK for us if we covered the fees. So we covered the ferry crossing and the fuel, and he came over and yeah, literally just dropped it off for us. So big thanks to him for doing that. So we ended up with this Panda 4x4. Now I knew that it had rust, right? I maybe didn't know quite how bad it was, so I decided to send it away for some further investigation. So I had a picture, right, of this like horrible metal plate that had been like fiberglassed into the floor, and Steve knew about it. Basically just said, look, you know, it has rust, it's going to need sorting. So I was like, cool, whatever, I'll send it over to I'm not going to name names, right? I sent it over to someone who's actually a really nice guy, and has done stuff for us before. And basically we just said, can you sort out this car? Can you weld it up for us? And I think he had it for a year, maybe a year and a half. Now we did actually do the passenger side, obviously because it's left-hand drive. Did the passenger side, but never got round to doing the worst side, which is this one. And I'll overlay a little picture now of the absolute atrocity that was lying underneath here. Now I don't know if he was actually running out of time or if he didn't maybe want to do this particular job. I almost wish he had just said and we had got it moved on, but ultimately, you know, he didn't charge me for anything, so fair play to him. But yeah, it then went somewhere else. I went to Mohawk Customs. Now he has done a couple of videos on this car, so please do check him out. Wade is a really nice guy, and Dan, who does the videos for him, is a really nice guy as well. They actually came up here and did a video on the Panda Sanctuary up here, so watch that video as well. We'll link it all in the description for you. We sent it to him and he sorted out this car. It needed copious amounts of welding. It had the whole floor done, the inner sill, the outer sill, and it's been fully undersealed. So this car is now actually one of the best. It is really, really nice underneath. But unfortunately, a year and a half parked up at the first place, basically in a hedge, didn't do the car so much good. Let's have a little look at that. So let's talk about the hedge. Now, let's just overlay a couple of pictures, right? This is the car as it was sold to me. These are pictures that Steve took literally days before sale, and it looked really clean, as you can see. Now, we pan back to here and it's not quite the same. Now we're going to overlay a different picture now, which is the state it arrived to Wade at Mohawk Customs in, which ultimately was not very nice considering it went from being received by me in the really clean state and then ended up in that very mossy state that ended up at Wade's in. So the most notable problem is the lack of peel on this door. I don't know how well you can see it, but yeah, this door is pretty well ruined now. There's lots of other little bits, it's just not quite as good as it was. Unfortunately, you can see as well these little rusty stains. This is where the front and rear light guards were, which is a nice little accessory on this one. And they were really rusty. They weren't when I first had it, but they were really rusty, and they've sort of like all stained on the bumpers and stuff as well. I have actually resprayed them now. So basically the plan is to tidy this up and make it look really good. So I've started with that, and there's a few other things to do as well, of course. So obviously when it was worked on, it had all the new underseal, and because it's had new outer sills up to here, it has unfortunately had a bit of underseal up the top, which is fair enough. I was expecting Wade to do that anyway. He did ask me if that was okay. So what I'm going to do is get some paint and just try myself just to tidy up the bottoms, although obviously I'm not quite as good at painting whole panels. You can see from JP, I'm not the best painter in the world, but basically I've got another door which is the exact same colour and completely rust-free, which is pretty crazy. So I'm just going to swap this whole door out, and it's one with a side panel on as well, so it's going to be literally direct fit and everything will look so much better. Now, aside that, I also want to paint up the side trims and the spoiler and stuff like that, and just give the car a really good cleaner polish. And I think this car will actually look really good after that, especially with those bumpers back to black. So while we're talking about the spoiler and side trims, let's go through some of the additional options that this car has, or at least Steve has done to it afterwards to make it look a little bit different, set it aside from the rest. So as I mentioned, we've got these lovely side trims which go on all 4 arches, and then we have this rear boot spoiler which is bolted in on the sides and stuck down, and we also have a third brake light, which is an interesting option as well. It also has a very cool front grille with working spotlights, and obviously when they're fitted it had very cool front and rear light guards which will be going back on this as well. And now let's come into the interior, because there's actually some really cool stuff in there. Now let's just gloss over a couple of things. There's an inclinometer, pretty cool. There's an above steering wheel, pretty cool. This interior, if you've not seen it before, this is a really cool rare find. Now, I don't actually know what particular models this came from. I think Steve may have suggested that it could have actually just been like a dealer fit or aftermarket sort of thing. Obviously, it is an original Panda style interior, but it has a completely different covering style. It's like a leather style interior. The front and rear seats are done in the same with the door cards, although the door card is missing. It's on the back seat, of course, and it has this really cool rubber carpet as well. We did actually get rubber carpet in the UK on some models, such as the Fizz, just like Pandino has, although it's really cool to have it on a 4x4, and as I say, it matches up to this really cool leather interior really well. So this is really rare, and as far as I know, nobody else in the UK actually has this interior. Now, I'm not going to claim that is definitely true, but there's certainly not a UK car that came with it as standard. Well, at last count, we had 10 Fiat Pandas, including this one, so 9 classics and penny. Now, that's a few too many, and a lot changes in sort of 3 years after you buy something, and obviously I've barely even seen this car and kind of forgot we even had it, and it came back the same weekend as the Sana, much to G's dismay, as we had no space at all. But this will basically become available, so if anyone is interested, please register your interest below, because obviously I would like it to go to a really good home. Now, that's not to say I'm not going to tart up a little bit first. Since it's come back, I've done a couple of the interior bits, putting it back together. I've rebuilt the rear brakes, and I have actually got the Italian registration / logbook, export book. So once I've got it MOT'd, I should be able to do a V55 with a copy of that logbook, and I should hopefully be able to get UK registration. So the plan is to get this MOT'd, registered, and get it ready for the road, tart it up a bit, and make it really cool for somebody to use. So if that somebody is you, please register your interest with us. Obviously, we'll do another video on this car once we've done a little bit more of it. If you've got any questions on it, please pop them down below. If you want to see a bit more on it, then obviously Wade at Mohawk Customs does have some videos on this one, so they are definitely worth a watch. Thanks very much for watching this video, guys. Like, comment, and subscribe. We shall see you all in the next one.